Dear students and dear teachers, a very warm welcome to today's EDUSAT lesson. This is the first EDUSAT lesson of the session 22-23. Class plus 2, subject General English, and topic is listening skill. But before we move on to discuss listening skill, I want to discuss the syllabus for the session with all of you. You might be having some queries in your mind. बहुत सारे सवाल होंगे ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਜਿਸ ਚੋਂ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਜੋ ਬੱਚੇ ਪੁੱਛ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਵਾਰੀ ਸਮੈਸਟਰ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਹੋਏਗਾ? The answer is no. It's going to be an annual system. ਇੱਕ ਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਏਗਾ, ਐਨੂਅਲ ਹੋਏਗਾ, ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਕੀ ਮਾਰਕਸ ਡਿਸਟ੍ਰੀਬਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਕੀ ਸਿਲੇਬਸ ਹੋਏਗਾ, ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਅੱਜ ਫਸਟ EDUSAT ਲੈਸਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ. Then we will move on to the listening skill. So I hope you are all ready with your pens and copies, and I would advise you to note down all the important points that we are going to discuss today. So let's move on to the first topic and discuss the syllabus for the session 22-23. So students, in this session, the total marks for General English are 100. Out of these 100 marks, 80 marks are for the written paper and 20 marks for IA, that is internal assessment. This internal assessment is further broken into 3 parts: listening and speaking skills practical 15 marks, pre-boards 3 marks, book bank 2 marks. Let us discuss the listening and speaking skill based practical exam, which is of 15 marks. Out of these 15 marks, 9 marks are for listening skill and 6 marks are for the speaking skill. For listening skill, students will be given a practice sheet containing 10 questions. They will answer all the 10 questions based on an audio clip. Students will be assessed for any 9 correct answers. So beta workbooks ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਾਈਡ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਜਾਣਗੀਆਂ. workbooks ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ listening skill ਦੀਆਂ worksheets ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ. Every worksheet will have 10 questions. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ 9 correct answers ਦੇ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. ਆਨਸਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ 10 ਹੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ, ਬਟ 1 question ਦੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੀਵਰੇਜ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਗਰ ਰੋਂਗ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਕਸਿਮਮ ਮਾਰਕਸ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ 9 ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਨ. I hope this point is clear. Speaking skill is of 6 marks. Students will be given a situation, cue card, picture. They will be asked to speak a few sentences and will be assessed on correct sentence structure, pronunciation and expression. Now for the practice of this skill also, you will be provided lot of conversations, lot of cue cards, picture composition in the workbooks. And in the coming EDUSAT lectures, you will have many lectures on this topic, and I would advise you not to miss any of the lectures because these are very, very important for your practicals. In classroom also, your teachers will be giving you practice in listening as well as speaking skill with the help of audios as well as the workbooks that will be provided to you very soon. So I hope this point is clear. Now let us discuss the syllabus. In the question paper, you will be given 2 unseen passages for testing the reading skill. 2 passages मिलेंगे students ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ. 10 marks the one passage and second passage will be of 6 marks. Unseen means it can be from anywhere. It may be from the composition book, grammar and composition book. It may be from anywhere else too. It may be from the workbooks also. Unseen means it can be from anywhere. And in the textbook, There are 3 sections, section A, B and C. A section contains 8 chapters. The first one is Hassan's attendance problem by Sudha Murthy. Second, The March King by Catherine Little Bakeless. Third, Thinking Out of the Box, Lateral Thinking. On Saying Please by A.G. Gardner. The Story of My Life by Helen Keller. Two Gentlemen of Verona, A.J. Cronin. In Celebration of Being Alive, Dr. Christian Barnard. Gadri Babas in Kalapani Jail, Dr. Harish Puri. In some of the old books, there are a couple of other chapters also which are not in your syllabus. So note कर लेना है बेटा, यही 8 chapters अपने करने हैं. In section B, there is poetry. There are 7 poems. Prayer of the Woods, On Friendship, The Echoing Green, Once Upon a Time, Father Returning Home, The Road Not Taken, and On His Blindness. Again, in some of the old books, there is one more poem which we are not supposed to do because it is not in the syllabus now. In section C, there are 6 chapters. The School for Sympathy by E.V. Lucas, A Chameleon by Anton Chekhov, Polly by K.A. Abbas, The Gold Frame by R.K. Lakshman, The Babas Trade Union by Mulk Raj Anand, The Bull Beneath the Earth by K.S. Wick. So these are the chapters that you have to do in this session. Moving on to grammar, composition and translation. So grammar ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੇਟਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ determiners है, use of non-finites which has infinitives, gerunds and participles, transformation of sentences, voice and narration. In the topic transformation of sentences, there are many kinds of transformations. So you have to follow the book English Grammar and Composition. ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਵੀ types mentioned है, you have to do all those types in this session. In composition, you have pressy writing, letter writing, official business letters and letters to the editors. +1 class ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ personal letters ਕੀਤੇ ਹੈ, ਇਸ session 'ਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ official letters ਕਰਨੇ ਹੈ, business letters ਕਰਨੇ ਹੈ and letters to the editors. And applications, explaining newspaper headlines and email writing. So syllabus ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀ topics ਹੈ, but in the question paper there will be a choice between the 4th and the 5th point, that is newspaper headlines and email writing, but both are a part of the syllabus, so you have to do both the topics. Translation from English to Hindi Punjabi and from Hindi Punjabi to English. For this you have to refer to chapter 18. The topic is the art of translation in your book English Grammar and Composition. You already have this book because it is same for +1 and +2. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, in today's session we will be discussing 2 topics. The first one, the syllabus for the session 22-23, and the second is listening skill. Now let us move on to the second topic, listening skill. So IELTS, this session has been, you have already witnessed many programs under this heading IELTS. You might be aware what is the full form of IELTS. It is interactive English language training for students, and under this heading we discuss the 4 skills, that is the listening, speaking, reading and writing. Why we discuss 4 skills? Because language, not only English language but any language, language is a means of communication, and it is taught and assessed in terms of the 4 skills, that is listening, speaking, reading and writing. बेटा किसी भी लैंग्वेज ਨੂੰ अगर सीखना है तो ਉਹਦੇ ਚਾਰੋਂ ਦੇ ਚਾਰੋਂ skills ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖਣੇ ਪੈਣਗੇ. You cannot concentrate only on 1 or 2 skills and ignore the others. that will not be a complete learning of the language. That is the reason why we have not been able to achieve the target for English language. Why? Because our practice in the first skill, listening, and the second, speaking, is not that much. In your mother tongue, you are exposed to all the 4 skills. ਤੁਸੀਂ all the time listening ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੀ, ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹੋ, speaking ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੀ, isn't that? ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਹਿੰਦੀ speaking ਹੈ, families ਹੈ, ਉੱਥੇ listening ਵੀ ਹਿੰਦੀ 'ਚ ਹੈ, speaking ਵੀ ਹਿੰਦੀ 'ਚ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਲਈ languages ਦੋਨੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੜੇ ਆਰਾਮ ਨਾਲ pick up ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੋ. Why you lack in your progress in English language? ਇਸ target language ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ target achieve ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ? Reason is your lack of exposure to these 2 skills, that is listening and speaking. So beta, it's high time that you give importance to these 2 skills also. That is why the department is doing all these activities to give you an exposure in these 2 ignored skills, which are the listening and speaking skills. You cannot learn without speaking, as is very much obvious. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਫ਼ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਇਸ ਪਿਕਚਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. 2 are input skills, 2 are output skills. Input skills ਕਿਹੜੇ ਹੈ? Listening and reading. Output skills ਕਿਹੜੇ ਹੈ? Speaking and writing. So listening ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾ speaking सीखना मुश्किल है, reading तो बिना writing सीखना मुश्किल है. So all these are interrelated to each other. So these are the 4 skills, and today's session is for the listening skills. Why listening skill is so important? Already I have mentioned it is an input skill, and for learning speaking you must listen to the language. सुनोगे ता ही बोल पाओगे. Even nature has planned in this way. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we listen more than we speak. ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਲਟਾ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਘੱਟ ਹੋ. Isn't that? So listen more and speak less. If you listen more, you will speak well. ज़्यादा बोलना important नहीं ਹੁੰਦਾ, अच्छा बोलना important ਹੁੰਦਾ है. And for that, you should, if you want to speak in English, you must listen to the English language. Listen, read. At 2 topics, reading and listening. This will improve your speaking skill. We can speak well only if we listen well. So I hope you are listening well. I hope all your concentration is on what I am speaking. Listening is a receptive skill. ਤੁਸੀਂ receive ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ. Receptive means ਤੁਸੀਂ receive ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ. And when you listen, what else do you listen? You listen to the sound, the rhythm, the intonation and stress of the language can only be learned through listening practice. So बोलते हुए किस word ते stress देना है, किस letter ते stress देना है, किस rhythm ਦੇ ਨਾਲ बोलना है, ਕੀ sound होना चाहिए है किसी letter ਦਾ, ਕੀ उच्चारण होना चाहिए है, ਕੀ pronunciation होनी चाहिए है. This you can learn only by listening. The more a student listens to the target language, the more is he or she able to understand the nuances. Nuances means ਬਾਰੀਕੀਆਂ. Language ਦੀਆਂ ਬਾਰੀਕੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਸਮਝ ਪਾਓਗੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ listen ਕਰੋਗੇ to the English language. Listening to English enables the learners to speak in English. तो बार बार ये line मैं बोल रही हूँ so that you remember it and you work on it. Now, what is the difference between hearing and listening? Hearing is a mechanical process. जिस कोल भी ears ने उन्होंने hear करना है, सुनना है, जिन्हां दे कान ठीक है, साडे कानां च बहुत सारियां आवाज़ां आस-पास तो पैंदियां रहिंदियां, उन्होंने listening नहीं बोलते. Listening is focused. When you pay attention, तुसी ध्यान नाल सुनदे हो, अपनी मर्जी नाल सुनदे हो. Effort to understand the meaning of what we hear. समझण दी भी कोशिश करदे हो. That is listening. So in the class at this time, some of you are listening and some of you are just hearing. So those who are listening will definitely benefit from the lecture. Hearing is involuntary, it is not in your control. Ears will automatically receive the sound. ਆਵਾਜ਼ਾਂ ਕੰਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਪੈਂਦੀਆਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, that is hearing. But listening is voluntary, means you do it yourself. You do it consciously. And hearing ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ mentally you may be somewhere else. Class ਬੈਠੇ ਹੋ, ਸੁਣ ਵੀ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਪਰ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਿਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਹੈ. But a person who is listening, ਉਸਦੀ complete attention ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ listening ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ. So I hope you all listen to the lectures given by your teachers and the EDUSAT lectures, and not only just hear, because if you just hear you will not gain anything, but if you listen carefully you will definitely benefit from each and every lecture, whether it is of EDUSAT, whether it is given by your teachers or in the assembly. So students, अपनी इस habit पे work करो, habit of listening. Now moving on to listening test, because in the syllabus we discussed there will be a 9 marks test, listening test in your final exams as well as in your house exams. Now listening test ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਇਸ 'ਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ, let us discuss that. Some of the tips for the listening test. ਹੁਣੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ listening test ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਵੀ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਕੁਝ tips ਨੇ, ਧਿਆਨ ਨਾਲ ਸੁਣੋ, ਔਰ then you will be able to score well in that test. Listen for names, places, dates, mobile numbers, address, etc. and make notes on the question paper. क्योंकि हो सकता है ये इंपॉर्टेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन है, हो सकता है इस दे उपर कोई क्वेश्चन होए, तो ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਲਿਸਨਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਡੀਓ ਸੁਣਾਇਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਲਿਸਨਿੰਗ ਟੈਸਟ ਦੇ ਲਈ, ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਨੇਮ, ਪਲੇਸ, ਡੇਟ, ਮੋਬਾਈਲ ਨੰਬਰਸ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪੈਨਸਿਲ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਈਡ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੋਟ ਕਰ ਲੈਣਾ. Maybe there may be a question from that. And while listening, write answers on the question paper. It is a multitasking. Listen, read and write. तीन चीज़ां तुसी side by side कर दियो. You are listening to an audio. You will be reading the question paper on the screen. और जो तुसी class करोगे from your workbook. So reading the questions, listening to the audio and writing the answers also. Don't wait कि audio खत्म होएगी तो फिर ऐसी answers लिखांगे. No, side by side you have to write the answers also. So it is a multitasking. So don't you think कि it requires your complete attention? थोड़ा जा भी ध्यान इधर उधर गया तो you will miss the audio. Information miss हो जाएगी थोड़ी. And pay attention to the instructions and underline the keywords, means important words. For example, there is an instruction no more than 3 words. That means your answer should be either 3 words or less than 3 words. Or there can be an instructions and or a number. It can be 3 words and or a number also. So whenever you get a question paper, read the instructions carefully कि fill की करना है, किन्ने वर्ड्स फिल करने हैं, की नंबर फिल कर सकते हैं कि नहीं कर सकते, बिकॉज ऑल वर्ड्स आर काउंटेड. अगर थोड़े वर्ड्स एक्सीड कर गए तो योर आंसर विल बी कंसिडर्ड रॉन्ग. सो इट इज़ अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इंस्ट्रक्शन. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज लिसन टू द इंस्ट्रक्शन. पॉइंट 3 ਦੀਆਂ इंस्ट्रक्शंस कित्थे होणगीਆਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ क्वेश्चन पेपर 'ਚ, एंड क्वेश्चन पॉइंट 4 ਦੀਆਂ इंस्ट्रक्शंस कित्थे होणगीਆਂ इन द ऑडियो. So you have to listen to the instructions before listening test starts. In that half minute, go through the questions quickly. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਸੁਣਾਈ ਦੇਗੀ. Before you listen to the audio, read the questions. ਤਾਂ ਬੜਾ ਥੋੜਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਕੁਇਕਲੀ ਇੱਕ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਮਾਰਨੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ questions ਨੂੰ. And underline the cue words. Important words ਨੂੰ underline ਕਰ ਲੈਣਾ ਹੈ. ਇਹਦਾ benefit ਕੀ ਹੈ? Why? You know what to listen for. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਗੱਲ ਵੱਲ ਧਿਆਨ ਦੇਣਾ ਹੈ. ਸੋ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਨੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ ਆਡੀਓ ਸੁਣਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਘੱਟ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ. ਸੋ get into this habit, you listen to the instructions carefully. 5th is read the instructions carefully. Again this point is there, it is regarding the answers. अगर ਆਨਸਰਸ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਚੂਜ਼ ਦੀ ਕਰੈਕਟ ਲੈਟਰ ABC, ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਲੈਟਰ ਲਿਖੋਗੇ, not the complete answer. अगर इंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं है तो तुसी आंसर लिख सकते हो, बट अगर इंस्ट्रक्शन है कि गिव द करेक्ट लेटर, तो then you will not write the answer, you will write only the letter. Now supposing you miss an answer, तुसी अपने किसी फ्रेंड नाल गल करन लग गए या कोई इंटरप्शन हो गई, बाहरों कोई आ गया, ड्यू टू एनी रीजन तुहाडा आंसर मिस हो गया, डोंट लूज द पेस ऑफ द स्पीकर बाय थिंकिंग अबाउट इट. अगर सोचन बैठ जाओगे भी ये की सी तो तुहाडे नैक्सट आंसर सारे मिस हो जाएंगे. सो मूव विद द ऑडियो, यू विल मिस द नैक्सट आंसर्स, कम बैक टू इट लेटर ऑन. एंड दे विच इहदे बारे आपां टाइम लगा के गैस कर सकते हैं, बट एट दैट टाइम डू नॉट स्टॉप, मूव ऑन विद द ऑडियो. डोंट लीव ब्लैंक स्पेसिस, गेस एंड राइट एज देयर इज़ नो नेगेटिव मार्किंग. तो जो भी ब्लैंक एंड च बच गया, कॉन्टेक्स्ट तो गैस करके you can write the answers. So these are very important tips. I hope you have understood well. Now how much you have understood well, this will be clear from a test. So ready, keep your pens and your copies ready, because we are going to experience the first listening test from your first lesson, हसन्स अटेंडेंस प्रॉब्लम. सो सब तो पहले बेटा, इस तो पहले कि मैं टेस्ट स्टार्ट करा, 1 to लेके 10 तक नंबरिंग कर लो. राइट डाउन ऑन द कॉपी लिसनिंग टेस्ट 1 एंड नंबरिंग 1 to 10, बिकॉज थोड़ा टाइम वेस्ट होएगा इहदे नाल. ऑडियो विल बी गोइंग मूविंग ऑन, एंड इफ यू स्टार्ट गिविंग द नंबर्स यू माइट मिस द आंसर्स. सो नंबरिंग कर लो. Now here is your first listening test from the first chapter, Hassan's attendance problem. Here is the question paper and I am going to play an audio.
Test. Lesson, Hassan's attendance problem. You will listen to an audio and answer the questions as you listen. Before you listen to the audio, please read questions 1 to 5. Now listen to the audio and answer the questions.
For many years now, I have been teaching computer science to students studying for their masters in computer applications at a college in Bangalore. I have interacted with many students, and though it is not possible to remember all of them now, the memories of some are etched in my head. That is not because they were all brilliant, but rather because something in them was very different from the others. In my first batch, there was a very bright boy called Hassan. He was tall, handsome, with a very good memory. He came from an affluent family where he was the only son. Initially, I did not come to know of his existence at all, mainly because he was hardly ever present. I normally take the first class of the day, which is scheduled at 9 a.m. or the one after that at 10 a.m. I prefer this time as this is when students are fresh and very attentive. Once in a while, Hassan would turn up, particularly if there was a class test or during examinations. I met him more often for attendance shortage meetings. He would beg for attendance in such a manner that it was very difficult for me to say no. Sometimes I would get upset and tell him, "No, I can't give you attendance. There should be discipline."
This is the end of section 1. Please check your answers. Section 2. You will listen to a conversation between two friends, Yashveer and Pankaj, and answer the questions as you listen. Before you listen to the audio, please read questions 6 to 10. Now, listen to the audio.
Good evening, Pankaj. Where are you going?
Oh, I'm going to the club, Yashveer.
What do you do there?
I play tennis with my friend Rajat.
Do you play tennis every day?
Yes, I play tennis from 4 to 6 in the evening every day.
Okay, that's good. But I have never ever played tennis.
Don't you play any game, Yashveer?
Oh, I do. I play cricket and football to keep my body healthy and fit. Sometimes I also go cycling to my cousin's house, which makes about 25 kilometers for the round trip.
I surely believe games are essential for good health.
You are right, Pankaj. Games take care of our physical health as well as our mental health.
True, it is rightly said that a healthy mind resides in a healthy body.
But some people do not realize the importance of outdoor games, nor they believe in doing exercise.
Well, that's the reason why they suffer from one or the other ailment.
You are absolutely right. I think games should be made compulsory for the students.
I agree. Games will not only keep them healthy, but will make them disciplined also.
Yes, games should be an integral part of our school curriculum.
May I take your leave now? I am getting late for my game of tennis.
Oh, sure. See you again.
Bye-bye. It was nice talking to you, Yashveer. This is the end of the listening test. Please check your answers.
So students, I hope you were able to write all the answers, but I am going to display all the questions once again. ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਨਸਰਸ ਮਿਸ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗੈਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਲਿਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. This is question 1 to 5. Please check your answers. I hope you have written. Last question 9th and 10th, this you were supposed to write, understand and write. जो ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਕਿਹਾ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਨਸਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਸੀ. So, should we check the answers? Here are the answers. Number 1 is Bangalore. Number 2, different. 3, bright. 4, affluent. 5th, 9 a.m. 6th, option D, to the club. 7th, option A, 4 to 6 in the evening. 8, B, football and cricket. 9th, A, they suffer from ailments. And 10th is true. तुसी नोटिस किया होना 6 to 9 में लेटर्स भी लिखे हैं एंड नाल आंसर्स भी लिखे हैं बिकॉज कोई इंस्ट्रक्शंस नहीं सी. लेट अस रीड द इंस्ट्रक्शन फॉर क्वेश्चंस 6 to 10 चूज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. तो तुसी लेटर भी लिख सकते हो, आंसर भी लिख सकते हो. अगर लिखा होंदा कि राइट लेटर्स तो तुसी सिर्फ लेटर्स लिखोगे. सो हियर द इंस्ट्रक्शंस वर नॉट गिवन, सो इट्स अप टू यू. तुसी आंसर भी लिख सकते हो, लेटर भी. I have written both. So this was the first listening test. So अपने आप नू marks देके Before leaving the class, get your copy checked by the teacher present in the class. I may ask the teachers, what was your score in today's test? हो सकता है तुहाडे 10 out of 10 आए होण, हो सकता है तुहाडे मार्क्स घट भी आए होण. सो लेट अस डिस्कस कि मार्क्स घट क्यों आंदे हैं स्टूडेंट्स दे. ਇਹਦੇ ਚੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਈਡੈਂਟੀਫਾਈ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ. ਲੈਕ ਆਫ ਐਕਸਪੋਜ਼ਰ ਟੂ ਲਿਸਨਿੰਗ ਇਨ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼, ਇਹ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਮੇਜਰ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਐਕਸਪੋਜ਼ਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਮਦਰ ਟੰਗ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਆਲ ਦ ਟਾਈਮ ਇਸ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਨੇ. ਐਕਸਪੋਜ਼ਰ ਇਜ਼ ਮੋਰ ਤਾਂ ਸਪੀਕਿੰਗ ਵੀ ਅੱਛੀ ਹੈ, ਬਟ ਇਨ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਲਿਸਨਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟਿਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. We do not listen to the language. That is the main reason. And lack of good vocabulary. Why lack of good vocabulary affects your listening skill marks is, for example, let me take you back to the listening test. Number 4, affluent. Supposing ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ word ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ. This word is from Hassan's attendance problem. Lesson ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹੋਏ teacher ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ affluent ਸਮਝਾਇਆ, ਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਧਿਆਨ ਨਾਲ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ affluent ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ. Now when you listen to this word, you will not be able to write it. This is the importance of vocabulary. Similarly in 9th, they suffer from ailments. अगर ailments word ही नहीं कदी सुनिया होएगा, इधर spellings नहीं पता होंगे, you will not be able to write the answer. That is why I reinforce the point that improving your vocabulary will improve your marks in listening skill also. And lack of interest, शौक ही नहीं है, किसी चीज़ वाल ध्यान ही नहीं है. That is another major reason. Then interruptions in the room. बच्चे गल्ला कर रहे हैं, बाहरों शोर आ रहा है. This interruption leads to missing some of the answers. Lack of complete attention, wandering mind. बैठे क्लास चो ध्यान किते हो रहा है, you will miss the answers. Stress, कई बच्चे टेंशन बहुत ज़्यादा ले लेते हैं. Stress also leads to poor listening. Lack of practice. And last but not the least, a negative attitude to whatever you are doing. So all these points have to be taken care of if you want to take good marks in the next test. So beta, believe in yourself, say that I can do it. Train your ears by listening to news in English, listening to audios in English. Read newspapers, storybooks to improve your vocabulary. Practice. Listen to a word or a sentence, repeat it, say it aloud to practice. And last but not the least, be attentive and focused while listening to the audios. So dear students, I hope तुसी सारे important points ज़रूर underline किते होंगे, लिखे होंगे और इस advice दे ऊपर ज़रूर work करोगे. And whenever we have the next listening test in the EDUSAT room, you will score 10 on 10. I'm sure about it. So keep practicing listening as well as reading if you want to improve your speaking. So that's all for today. Thank you so much. Bye bye.